It's finally here. Saturday, November 7th at the Rio, the November 9 will meet again to battle for the $8.5 million and the WSOP Championship bracelet. It's time for the 2009 main event final table. Hey everyone, Christiana here for Card Player TV. Since the November 9 was determined back in July, Card Player has provided videos and articles on each of the players, which can be found right here on cardplayer.com. For the final table preview show, we thought we'd get the inside scoop from the all-time WSOP bracelet leader, Phil Hellmuth. First up is James Akenhead from London, England. He's got 6.8 million and he's the short stack.
Akenhead, I was impressed with his Ace King of Diamonds laydown on the coverage the other night. Someone raised. Begleiter re-raised with kings. He laid down Ace King of Diamonds. The next guy at our final table laid down 2 10s. Kada laid down 2 jacks. That tells me they all have a tell on Begleiter, especially Akenhead. But he's not in great position to take advantage of a tell on Begleiter. So we don't know. We think that either Ivey or Akenhead will be there in the final 6, but not both.
Antoine Saout from France has 9.5 million in chips.
Saout, I think, is capable of busting himself. I mean, a terrific player. Look, he made the WSOP E final table, WSOP final table. Wow, congratulations, buddy. Well done. But, I mean, I saw him push with 2 8s. He was called with Ace Queen. I saw him make a big bluff with Ace Queen after it came 8-8-4. I think that Begleiter laid down 7s against him. And I think that Saout feels like he needs to play a big pot with a medium pair. And I think that he's probably going to go broke with the medium pair. If his medium pair hangs up, then he'll double up. But I think that he's going to be playing a little faster, and he's going to get involved in a pot that he'll probably be knocked out.
Phil Ivey from Las Vegas comes in with almost 9.8 million in chips.
I mean, what can you say about Phil Ivey? I mean, I gave him a nickname, Triple Threat. Phil Triple Threat Ivey. Triple Threat because he's the only player in the world that's great at online play, in the real-world cash game play, and in tournaments. There's no other player that you could say is great in all 3. And so, I mean, I was talking to Ivey yesterday, and he said the same thing that I think. It's easy for him to play his hands with 9.7 million. I mean, he has it's kind of easy. He knows what to do. Now, we don't know if he's going to make the final 6 or not. And he doesn't know if he's going to make the final 6 or not. But one thing we both agree on, if he makes it down to the final 4 or 5, he'll probably have a lot of chips. Then he has a great chance to win. But he could easily go out. I mean, I think that Ivey's not going to fold jacks. I'm not sure he'll fold 10s. I'm not sure he's going to fold Ace Queen. And so he may find himself in a coin flip, a massive coin flip. He may find himself in a situation where he actually has the other player dominated. He might have 2 queens and the other guy's ace jack suited, but he still could go out in that spot. So, I think that Ivey may end up moving in with jacks and the other guy's going to call with ace king or queens, kings, or aces. He may go out then. Now, if the other guy calls him with 10s, he's going to double up. So, no one really knows, obviously, but Ivey and I agree, Mr. Triple Threat, if he's still in there with 4 or 5-handed, he'll have chips.
Kevin Schaffel from Coral Springs, Florida has 12.4 million in chips going into the final table.
Kevin Schaffel, we don't know a lot about. We know that he finished 2nd in LA. We know that he is a patient player. We know that he's patient, and he could easily be taken out by Ivey or take out Ivey. He could easily be taken out by Akenhead. We think that Akenhead and Ivey are better players than Schaffel, and but Schaffel could easily just kind of hang on in there and be down there in the final 5. We don't necessarily have him projected to do that though.
21-year-old Joe Kada from Shelby Township, Michigan has 13.2 million.
Kada is Kada for 21 years old. He plays much better than as if he were 21. But the stage, I mean, when you're 21 and you get down there, the stage is a little much, and I think that it may overwhelm him unless he's visualized himself winning it over and over and over again. It's going to be very difficult for someone who's 21 to win it. And my record as youngest stood for 20 years. Eastgate finally broke that. But I think if someone young is going to win it, they have to see themselves winning it in their mind for a long time.
Card player publisher Jeff Shulman, who's being coached by Phil Hellmuth, has $19.6 million in chips.
I think Jeff Shulman is extremely well prepared, extremely focused. I mean, I've played 5-6 hour sessions with him. We've been talking about this for months. We've been watching television together. I'll have the TiVo, like, shh, rewind, shh. See what he looked like when he had kings. TiVo, rewind, see what he looked like when he had kings. Rewind, see what he looked like when he had kings. And same thing with the bluffs. And so we've been focusing on the November 9, what they look like when they're strong, what they look like when they're weak. Not necessarily looking for specific tells, because they may have picked up on those tells, but just what they look like in their eyes, their demeanor when they're strong or weak. We had a packet of every single hand that any of the November 9 played at any time during the whole tournament. 30-40 pages worth. We read every one. We put everybody playing with the chip stack that they have at the final table, and we assumed their personality characteristics. Jeff is extraordinarily well prepared. I really believe that he's the favorite to win. If it isn't Darvin Moon, then Shulman's the favorite to win.
Stephen Begleiter from Chappaqua, New York, has $29.9 million.
And in a lot of our projections, we see Beggs making the Final Four. We have played every time we've played a freeze out, Beggs has been in the Final Four. So, but I mean, we don't know exactly how he's going to do it. We think he's going to overplay a hand, but then one of the younger kids is going to overplay their hand even more, and Beggs is going to end up with a lot of chips. Now, it could easily happen where Buckman busts Beggs or Beggs busts Buckman.
Eric Buckman from Hewlett, New York, has $34.8 million in chips.
Yeah, I mean, I think Buckman is someone who we're not sure if he's going to make the Final Four or not. We think that Begleiter and Buckman, who are second and third chips, are going to get involved in some pots. Begleiter could easily win those pots. Buckman could easily win those pots. We see one of them really getting hurt because I think that, you know, Beggs might raise with King Jack and Buckman might call with Queen Jack. Now comes a Jack and Buckman loses 10 million on the hand. So we see that something is going to happen because they're both aggressive players. And Buckman, I mean, if he's still in there when they hit the Final Four-handed, he could easily have 70, 80 million, but he could also easily be out. So we don't think that him and Beggs are going to make the Final Four. It could happen. I mean, they have the chips, you know, but we just think that their playing styles are conducive to gamble against each other.
The chip leader, Darvin Moon from Oakland, Maryland, has $58.9 million in chips.
All right, to me, Darvin Moon's like a folk hero. He's a very folksy guy, and I mean, he has some game, and I mean, this could be our next world champion of poker. He has enough moves. I think he has enough patience. He's like a folk hero. Darvin Moon, the logger.
Thanks for tuning in to our preview show on the World Series of Poker main event, Final Table. Be sure to follow along with the live updates by clicking the CP Live button on the Card Player homepage. I'm Chris Jarnett for Card Player TV.